The EU's Digital Services Act has expanded its reach to cover all tech companies, with the exception of the smallest. The law holds online platforms legally accountable for the content posted on them in a bid to foster a safer online environment for users. Rahul Radhakrishnan reports.
Internet regulations aimed at revolutionizing consumption.
Like Twitter.
The first phase of the EU's Digital Services Act, or DSA, has been in effect since August, obliging big tech companies operating within the bloc to clean up what people see online. And as of Saturday, the DSA's reach has now expanded to all tech companies, except the smallest ones. Brussels says the aim is to keep users safe online and to stop the spread of harmful, illegal content. And they've made it clear that any violations will not go unpunished. Elon Musk's X is already under investigation over disinformation in the Act's first enforcement.
Today we opened formal proceedings against X based on several suspected infringements of the Digital Services Act. The opening of proceedings means that the Commission will now investigate X's systems and policies related to certain suspected infringements. It does not prejudge the outcome of the investigation, nor does it signal that the Commission considers that X is compliant with all other obligations under the DSA.
Small tech firms with fewer than 50 staff and a revenue of under 10 million euros are exempt. But tech giants like Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Snapchat have already made changes to comply with the guidelines, forcing them to rethink their policies on advertising, transparency, and moderation. The EU has long been a leader in cracking down on tech giants and is now seeking to rein in potential misuse of AI.
Our future competitiveness depends on AI adoption in our daily businesses. And Europe must up its game and show the way to responsible use of AI. That is artificial intelligence that enhances human capabilities, improves productivity, and serves society.
And despite legal challenges, the EU's audit of tech companies shows that it is determined to fight problematic issues with the internet. Rahul Radhakrishnan, TRT World.
For more on this, we are joined by Pierluigi Paganini in Napoli, Italy. He is the CEO of Cyberus and Cybersecurity and Intelligence Expert. Thank you for being with us. So the European Union's rebooted e-commerce rules have started to apply in full. Can you first help us understand what this is about?
Well, the Digital Services Act is an important legal framework that gives liability to online platforms for the harmful content that is published through the e-services. DSA requests these platforms to take down any illegal and harmful content. For example, let's think of hate of speech, terrorist propaganda, and child sex abuse material. DSA introduced new obligation also for providers of online marketplace to counter the spread of any illegal products. In particular, this platform must verify the identity of seller before they can start selling through the online marketplace. These will have a huge impact on the processes of this platform. Let's think also to the dimension of many of these platforms. Big giants have to completely review their policies, and this will have a huge impact on their activity. They have also to check if specific products can be sold considering the local laws. Some products can be sold in some countries, and in other countries it is not possible to export some materials, some goods. Platforms are now available for this.
Really, really interesting. And I do want to ask you a question, because one of the biggest criticisms against the European Union, as opposed to, for instance, Anglo-Saxons' legal frameworks, is that it's highly bureaucratic, right? So I wonder, are these new rules likely to make things slower rather than faster, and therefore adding yet another layer of bureaucracy? Or is this really going to help, in your opinion?
Good question. I think that it can happen. There are several challenges that we must approach introducing DSA. I think that over censorship will be the greatest challenge. difficulty in identifying what is harmful content, especially when we work in an international context with different laws. And as I told you before, this is very challenging for those platforms that have a dimension that is not comparable to Facebook or TikTok or others similar.
Right, as you've alluded to before, and as we've heard in the report from our colleague, X and TikTok are already essentially being investigated. Can you help us understand more about that? Why are they investigated? What could be the consequences of that? Yes,
both companies are investigated for potential violation of DSA. Okay, and the violation are concerned about harmful content. These platforms may not be effectively addressing the spread of harmful content, especially among youngsters, and for data privacy. There are serious concerns regarding the practices of these companies in manage the users' data. The consequence can be different. Let's think, for example, as fines. Platforms that violate DSA can face important financial penalties. Order to remove the contents. Authorities may request this platform to remove specific content because it's illegal or harmful. And in serious cases, the UAE can request the suspensions or bans of the services of these platforms within the UAE.
Pierluigi Paganini, thank you very much for walking us through this new Digital Services Act in the EU. Thank you.
Thank you.